Hello and welcome to another episode of the Complete Agent Podcast, where each week we get together to talk all things estate agency. As always, I'm joined by my fellow colleagues, James Kendall and Ian Story. How has your week been, lads?
Ian.
Thanks, James. Good morning.
Seeing as we're at your office.
Yes, well, I should say that actually today we are another rare occasion, but we are all together again this week. We're doing some planning for the Complete Agent, so we've come to Stories HQ. And we're doing it from here, and it's a great setup that you've got, Ian. Great team as well. So, thanks for having us in here.
Thank you.
You're not that actually hospitable. You've not done anything.
No. Vicky's made you a coffee. I'll made you a coffee.
Yeah, absolutely. You took it out for a nice meal last night and didn't pay.
No, exactly.
Yeah. So, that was good. You took us to a nice place and didn't pay. So that was decent, though, to be fair.
No, you're welcome. You're always welcome.
Thanks.
So we've, things continue to be good, really. Phil, I had a week off last week, so I've kind of had a week off because I was moving house. Phil managed to tie up a great little chain of 3, which are good if they complete, aren't they? But awful if they fall through. And it was one that we previously sold at $1 million. The chain broke down. Then the buyer managed to resell. So we waited for that buyer because we were paying 50 grand over. We waited for them, they've resold, and then those sellers are buying one off us, and those sellers are buying another one off us. So it's a really nice chain of 3, with a little 50 grand commission chain, if it happens. So that's good. I agreed a really good one yesterday at 610, or another gold dust one, 610 at 2%. Got another one that we've had an offer on at 650. I've got a 675 offer on it. I think I'll probably get a bit more out of them. They've not sold, but they've only just gone on it. They've got 4 viewings booked this weekend. Desirable part of the world, so they'll probably sell, I think. So I've done a few like that recently where I've agreed the figure before the buyer can actually proceed. Yeah. And we make it clear to the buyer that if another buyer comes along, we'll then we're not taking off the market for them.
Yeah.
But this price is agreed, and it gives the buyer a bit of motivation to try and sell theirs. I think it's good to do that. Gives the seller a bit of confidence in you as well. I think they're less likely to think about changing agents if they've got someone there waiting to buy it. So I just did that yesterday with this one, 675-ish. Thought we sold one at 1.5 last weekend. He literally said this to the viewing specialist on the viewing, can we make an offer today? The viewing specialist said, of course you can, ring Ian. I've not spoken to the guy since last Saturday.
So annoying.
He's dragging another Ian. He's dragging Ian Beale instead.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, it is hilarious. We had a second viewing at one at 2.5 last weekend. And they want to offer but won't offer till the end of November.
Why?
Because they're waiting for some money to come in.
Oh.
They want the money in before they can offer. So anyway,
well, sensible. I mean, at least you've got it. It's there.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. Again, it's good for the seller to keep the seller on board. It's all good, really, isn't it? But it's just the higher end continues to be tougher, and the gold is definitely between 5 and $1 million, as we repeatedly say. But no, all good in the team. It was Scott's birthday. It was Scott's birthday today. So the team all went out for a nice lunch yesterday, didn't they? To a nice little restaurant up the high street here in Tarporley. And even though it's the end of October, things still feel pretty active, chaps. How about you? How about you, JK?
Sales good. So agreed one at $1 million, another one at 1.35. Agreed another one at 300. Small little character place. Another one at 650. Working on another one at 600 who wants to buy one from me at 1.2. It's just fallen through.
That's good.
But then just talking about the gold, with and chain building, we got one. Rich got one at 750, and we reduced the price. And I think we're going to touch on it today. But they've gone from 800 offers over, not getting a lot of interest, offers over 750. Got a good buyer, not on the market. And I think one of the things we'll probably touch on the pod today is letting a lot of sellers are like, I don't want people around unless they're able to proceed, and getting people that are not on the market, that are serious people, into houses. It's a classic example where we've got a house at 450k that wants to buy one through us at 750k.
Yeah,
you could do the maths on the fees there. And just on fees, on our big 3.5 mil, we've had another viewing that's happened last week.
That's actually on the market, that, JK.
You can check Rightmove.
Are you sure?
It's real. It is real.
You've been talking about it for a year.
Ian's got one at 3.6, I think it's
3.51.
3.51, sorry, my apologies. But yeah, had a viewing on that. Another agent introduced the buyer on there. And we're doing the fee split, so if they buy it, then we're going to split the fee. I think why not?
Yeah.
Slightly frustrating thing, the fee split has come about because they know the agent. They saw marketing online, asked the agent their opinion, and they've gone, "I'll come through me."
Yeah.
But, no, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
You know,
If you sell it, you get the glory of the sale as well.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, as long as my client gets the deal,
Yeah, of course.
we still get to sell a £3.5 million house.
Exactly,
You know,
exactly,
yes, we lose a big chunk of the fee, but
Yeah.
you know, in the grand scheme of things, we've sold a £3.5 million house.
Yeah.
The fee is going to be 10 times what we were getting 6-7 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, so it is what it is. So yeah, all round all positive. A little bit down on vals and take-ons. They're a little bit down, I'll be honest. But we literally just about to send 10,000 out. Also, I made a mistake in my letters, which you guys know about. I made a bit of a typo on one of the second pages, and I proofread. You know, you proofread something like 10 times over, proofread it, and then Matt picked one up out of the boxes when they got delivered. And he goes, "Oh, you realise that there's a typo there." Now, I probably could have got away with it, but I can't.
No,
I can't. I'm not one of those people that can go, "Oh, it'll be all right."
No.
So I just had to print another 10,000. But what I am doing, making the best out of a bad situation, that page with the typo on, I'm going to get reprinted. And what we're going to do is we're going to send another 10,000 out to a whole new set of council tax bands.
Oh, right.
So we're going to ramp up to band E as well.
Okay.
And I think, you know, depending on how things go, we might then go for 20k in December as well.
Yeah.
So just making the best of a bad situation and just
Amazing.
thinking, you know, it's a lot of money, but you've got to roll the dice. And we're, you know, going through planning this year, obviously, with agents and mastermind.
Yeah.
I think, you know, it's really relevant. It's predictable and scalable. In order to grow, we do need to obviously send out more.
JK, that is the key though, because it is predictable and it's scalable. So to me, if I could send 30,000-40,000 out and cope with the result of that, I would do it.
Yeah.
You know, we do 7,500, and to be quite honest, just the way my business is structured at the moment, I don't think I could handle sending any more at the moment. There are a couple of areas that I really do want to go to, and I think we will. But I just need to structure better to make sure that we are in a position to cope with it.
Yeah.
When we do that, so I think
I kind of bolstered it because I've got my photographer/videographer that's employed full time now, and he's always busy at the moment. And I've also got Rob as well, so I've got options that I can do what I need to do still. And I've also taken on another self-employed viewing assistant as well.
Yeah.
So that's now 2 I've got, plus Rich, obviously, who's partner agent, does his area. We can still manage the odd viewing in the office with the team.
Yeah.
And I've had a sit down with pretty much all of the team this week, kind of one-to-one, like not as formal with a one-to-one, just about what our plans are next year and how we plan to grow and how roles are going to revolve. So
Revolve?
Yeah.
What evolve?
both. Revolve and evolve. Well, you joke, but it's different people are moving into slightly different seats. For the benefit of the podcast, all people can see actually is Ian's hand. I uploaded the video here because we're all doing this on one and the laptop's facing down. We could just see your hand. That's mint, that is.
I say.
You see what I did there?
No, no one else will.
No one else will. Just for context, Ian is holding a can of Smint.
You don't need to keep explaining. Let's just...
Yeah, but people are going to appreciate how funny I am.
But then we'll laugh at something else, and we'll have to give the context. And before you know it, we're wrapping up the pod.
Yeah, that's very true. Anyway, speaking of wrapping up the pod, how's your week?
Touche. Yeah, not bad. We've done 3 take-ons this week.
Brilliant.
One was a really nice farm, and it's going on the market for about $1 million, which is really nice.
$1 million? About $1 million?
No, it's going on for $1 million. It's going on for $1 million.
Revolve around $1 million.
Yeah.
Offers over about $1 million.
Yeah, it's going to be. I think we should
Imagine that on my move. OFROABC123.
I just said to the owner, we'll put it on for about $1 million. I said, well, what exactly are we putting
What's
it
that
on?
based on? I just think that's what it's worth.
Yeah.
But interestingly enough, it has been significantly overvalued. I mean, on the market for someone else that everybody will know for like 1.45 million. It's so far off, and she's had nothing in a year, and she's left it that long.
Damaging, though, isn't it?
Can be, yeah. So I've just got some footage back on that looks great this morning, so I'm excited to launch that in the next couple of weeks. Bit like you, JK, quieter on the valuation front, but to be quite honest with you, I'm happier. I'm happier because it's been relentless. So it's allowed me to sort of catch up on a few things and start planning, which is obviously what we're doing for TCA members in December. So I'm looking forward to that. But on the whole, yeah, been pretty good. Pretty good indeed.
You sure that was literally like 30 seconds?
Yeah, that's right. To be honest, you've wasted so much time trying to give context to the listeners. It's time we moved on.
Go on then, introduce this week's topic.
Okay, so this week's topics, we're going to have a bit of I'm sure we'll go off on a tangent as we always do, but we've been talking together about viewings and the number of viewings that we're doing. It kind of jumps into building chains and things like that. But I think as well, one or two of the TCA members have been asking about advice on how they can improve activity on listings that are quiet. But equally, there's those where you get, on the flip side, lots and lots of viewings and no result straight away. And you've got to deal with difficult conversations. So there's that we can have a chat about. And obviously, we've got the budget next week. And what else we got? We've got rumoured interest rates and things like that. So how are we dealing with that and what are you telling your clients? So we'll just go for a few bits. But I think it first of all came from, we've got one member in the group who's got a really, really nice listing. I think it's a tricky sale that she said where there's either no or hardly any back garden. Mm-hmm. So it's a very unique and niche sale.
Yeah.
So she was sort of asking for advice on what she can do to try and boost viewing activity. I think obviously it's when you present to the level that we do and the TCA members do, to be quite honest, it's difficult, isn't it, to really massively change too many things.
Yeah.
I think there was quite a few people chipping in with some great advices today, but my feeling on it was that, again, it always goes back to who's buying this house, what are the genuine problems with it. Don't shy away from the problems, don't hide the problems. Let's get them out into the open and talk about how we can solve that problem. So, I sold a townhouse earlier in the year that doesn't have a garden, but it's in the centre of Ramsbottom, which is a really nice area, lots of green spaces. So we focused on that. The type of buyer that's buying this was probably going to be a young professional couple, not as bothered about a garden space, may not have kids, but like a walk out into the village where they're going to have a drink and a meal. But if they also like a walk on a weekend, they are literally 5 minutes from a footpath that takes them right up to Holcombe Hill and Peel Tower and stuff like that. We can have a lovely walk. So we focused on that. So it's more about, from your side of things, I think ultimately it will always come down to numbers, won't it? Let's be honest. But in your experience, have you had stuff? What would you do when you've got a quiet property that's not really getting much activity? Where do you focus your attention?
We've got, a few. Do you want me to dive in, or you?
Yeah, dive in. Yeah. We've all got a few, I'm sure.
It's interesting because there's always been scenarios, not like you say, David, it ultimately comes down to numbers. But there, with a niche property, like for example, a house with land, so going completely the other way around, somebody that you can have a really lovely house that's got 7 acres, and that equally is going to turn a lot of people off because the family goes, I absolutely love that house, but then they've got no idea how to look after 7 acres.
7 acre headache.
That's it. Yeah. It's going to put them off. But then I suppose you have to look at, in that scenario, how you can package it up. So could you say to the owners, I think you did it the other week actually, could you retain 6 acres in the family, and then or get a local farmer, say to a local farmer, there's 6 acres here, can you use them and rent them out to a local farmer? So then it becomes an acre headache, but you've still got the benefit of 7 acres. Yeah. But you can also package it, like you said, it up. So the land becomes less of an issue. The other way around, obviously, with there being...
also on that, JK, by doing that on Rightmove, if you take the land off, you can relist it as a new and change the price. You can relist it as a new property, can't you?
That's it, and it goes back to the numbers. Doesn't it? Go back to the numbers. If you're then renting it out, or you're retaining the land, then you can then look at taking a reduction. And I think that chat the other week you mentioned, Dave, that took all your advice, packaged the land off, reduced the price, and sold it.
Sold it somewhere in the pub, yeah. Great.
That's the reality, though, isn't it? It's sold because it was the right advice. It was the right advice out of the box. Yeah. And you might not get the fee for that, but in the future it will be Dave Warburton. He knows what he's talking about because he was the one that told us what to do and how to do it. You're the expert. So for loads of land, that's an option. For a house with no garden, like you said, goes back to who's your buyer. And why are they going to buy it? And where are they hanging out? How do we package it to them? And there's only so much you can do. You can show the green space, you can show the outdoors, you can show the amenities. But the reality is, if it's not the marketing, it's the market.
Yeah, I think it's either price or patience for me.
Yeah.
So if marketing is as good as it can be, so in my head at the minute, I've got one we've got, which is a lovely cottage. It's got a detached annex, massive detached barn. 1.5 acre paddock, 2 stables. It's semi-detached. It's got no upstairs bathroom. But it's beautifully done inside, but it's really, really quirky. So it's had loads of viewings because it looks dead nice. People go and they say it's no upstairs bathroom. And it's also, by the way, right on a main A road. Okay, so it's got a lot of problems, but it's so nice inside. And it's a lovely plot, really, but it just isn't selling. What we're actually thinking, and by the way, the owner owns 3 acres next door and another block of stables that's not included. Right. So what we're going to do is add that on and put the price up.
Yeah.
So it's got 3 acres and a 35 grand new stable block.
Nice.
So we're going to put the price up and
change
add that
the buyer
on
then, doesn't it?
To change the buyer. Correct. It changes the buyer. But the other alternative would have been take the land off and reduce the price. But it needs some sort of change. However, if you've exhausted all those potential avenues with the marketing, it's either the price or it's patience.
Yeah.
People have just got to wait to find the right buyer because they're so unique.
I get that.
Change the price.
The patience, though, the patience thing, how long do you give?
Well, of course, yeah. Because that's the conversation with the seller, isn't it? How long do they want to be patient for?
Yeah.
And if they don't want to be patient for that long, then you need to change the price.
But ultimately, again, as well, it's going back to agency, you need to be the authority.
Yes.
So you're the one who needs to be talking about these are your options.
Yeah. We've got another one where it's a lovely detached house. It's got 4 acres or something, 3.5 acres, 4 acres behind it down a slope, and then it's flat. And everyone's viewed it and gone, love the house. That land is awful. I just don't want that land. It's on at 950. So I've said repeatedly to the sellers now, look, I think we should take the land off and put it on offers at 900.
Yeah.
You're going to get a new rapid price point. You're probably going to find a buyer that just wants the garden.
Yeah.
So you're getting change in the buyer. And then what I haven't said to them, which I've just picked up on YouTube there, is to say to them, keep the land and put it in a trust for your kids.
Yeah.
For the future.
Yeah.
Because sooner or later they'll get planning permission for something. So keep it.
Yeah, I've had one this week, full enough. I went to value it, and it was a lovely little cottage, detached cottage, quite quirky again. It's like 2 up, 2 down almost, but it's a detached cottage. 2 big bedrooms, 2 en suites, and then open plan living and kitchen. But across the road, they've got horses and stables, and then they own 3 acres, right? So when you look out from their top window to the back, unrestricted views, it's beautiful. When you look at the front, unrestricted views, it's beautiful. And there's just been planning passed for 1,700 houses all around them. They're devastated. They're absolutely devastated. So they've got me out and they've said, we've had 2 valuations already, Purple Bricks and somebody else, and none of them knew what to do with it, to be honest. And we've not heard back from any of them. And we just don't know where we're going. We don't know what to do. So my view is, with that, I've just said, you've got absolutely no chance of selling this for the pound square foot value. That's my honest truth. And I know it's not what you want to hear, but there's no point dressing this up any other way. No one is going to pay you the value that we thought it was worth now, that when you're going to lose that view front and back. So their option, really, their only option, given they've got 2 to 3 acres that's literally going to encroach on the new build, that site by this new developer, is to sell the land. So they said, yeah, we've thought about it. I said, for me, I would approach the builder that's getting it, the big builder, and say, can you do a deal for your 2 or 3 acres so they could build another 20 houses on it, or whatever it might be, or go and get your own planning permission and sell the land. That's where your value is. Because your cottage, your cottage is now going to be worth, it's literally going to be worth hundreds of thousands less, because there's just no appeal to it at all. And that was the conversation we had with them. But they're planning for the next, they get the retirement, they're in retirement age already, but they're now planning and thinking, well, how quick can we do this? I'm saying, honestly, if I put for sale board up, I cannot sell it. I just can't. Because I know the type of person I'm going to bring here is just not going to be interested once they know they're going to be overlooked by houses everywhere. Can't get you the value. So the point and context I'm trying to give there is you've got to have honest conversations with your owners. There is an element of managing expectations, but equally telling them the truth. So if it is a house with no garden or anything like that, you've just got to be straight. The majority of people, we are fishing in a much smaller pool. The majority of people in this size of house will want a garden. It's a family that's buying the house, and they will want a garden. There's probably 20% of people, a pool of people who are shopping over here that will buy your home. We've got to be patient. We've got to find them. You've got to manage the market conditions, because if the market's dropping, and they wait, then the value of the property is going to be so much less in the future. So you've really got to manage what the market's doing during this period of time that you are marketing it. And to me, it always comes back to the same thing. Like, my job is to give you all the information so that you can make informed decisions. Now, the reality is the market is quite stable at the moment, and we're not seeing any major rises. However, we're not seeing any major losses. I'm saying this to most people at the moment. We honestly don't know what the market's going to do, but signs are very positive in the sense of, yes, we've got a budget that's unpredictable next week, but the rumours are that we're going to get a couple more interest rate drops potentially before the end of the year. And that
Goldman Sachs, I was
interested in this. You said
in
this.
The Guardian earlier on this week, there was an article out. Goldman Sachs think that by the end of 25, the base rate will be at 2.75%.
Yeah.
But the thing is that there's two ways of reading that. Like, there's a lot of agents that will listen to that and they'll rub their hands together thinking, right, the good times are going to roll. What you also need to remember is that Labour are coming in hard on landlords.
Yeah.
There's a lot of landlords getting rid of properties.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a lot more properties in the market, a lot more choice. And obviously, with there being more on the market, even though the money's going to be cheap, with more competition, I still think it's going to be a balanced market. But what it is going to be good for, in my opinion, is where we're sitting at the mid to upper end.
Yeah.
0.3 or 1% or 1.5% off a mortgage. Some of the levels we're dealing with, some of the houses I've sold recently at 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, even up to 1.7, people are getting £1 million mortgages.
Mm-hmm.
And, 1.5%, like the difference in the interest rate now is massive per month.
Yeah.
Massive.
Yeah.
So I think that's really going to have that, and if you talk about light bulb moments, the amount of times you articulate that to people about the good times 2 years ago at 0.1% base rates, and how borrowing 500 grand was only £1,400 a month, and now it's like 3.5, 4. The good times should hopefully come. And I would like to see Labour do something for the downsizers to encourage the top end of the market to downsize. Incentivise them. Abolish stamp duty. I don't know how they would regulate it, but have stamp duty tapered or reduced for people downsizing, so people in the mid-market can upsize. And just because I think there'll be a glut of properties at the lower end, and I think where agents will thrive in the next 18 months to 2 years are those that specialise in the mid to upper end, because I think there'll be a huge opportunity at that end of the market.
Yeah. I don't think you're wrong, to be honest with you. I mean, look, who knows what's going to happen? But the whole point is you've got to manage this situation because, look, every house has got a price. That's the point. Every house has got a price, but you've got to be seen to be doing everything you possibly can. So, like with the house there, for example, that we're talking about with no garden, can you do a video pointing out all the green spaces? Can you up your social media game and make sure it's really highlighted what you're selling here? Beyond all that, you can't really do much more. You're on Rightmove, you might be on another Zoopla or on the market, whatever it is. You might have a really good social media presence, but manage that and manage expectations. You can't really do much more, but you've got to certainly be seen to be doing more as much as you can.
One thing we're suggesting with this property that I mentioned, where it's got no upstairs bathroom and it's on the road and stuff, it's got 3 bedrooms upstairs. It's got the weirdest little toilet you've ever seen, which is sort of in the eaves off the master bedroom. You've sort of got, it's like, to get in, it's like 3 foot high gap.
Yeah.
Like a cupboard door to get in, and there's a toilet and a sink in there. Which is really, really weird. So I've said to the seller, as part of the relaunch, I said, take that toilet and sink out. Take it out, get rid of it, make it a store cupboard. Because currently, everyone's going in and going, this toilet's really... And if it wasn't there, you just say, it's got a ground floor bathroom.
Yeah.
Currently, they're like, why is the ensuite in such a weird... It's better not to have one.
Yeah.
I've said, so they're taking the toilet and sink out completely.
Yeah.
And make it put it back to a storeroom.
Yeah.
Well, remove the problem.
It's a good point, this now. So we've done the sort of properties are not getting viewings. So it's usually going to be, let's just summarise on that. If your property's not getting viewings, if your marketing's right, it's 9 times out of 10 it's going to be a pricing. Well, it's a price. It's a pricing issue. So what can you do? You do just have to manage the expectations of the client. Obviously, there's the old thing about moving photos around and stuff like that, trying to improve the click-through.
Keeps it fresh,
You keep it fresh.
I think to a certain level, though.
I think we as estate agents know the difference that's going to make is absolutely minimal.
Yeah.
But the point is the owner needs to know that you are trying things.
Yeah.
So make them know that. So we're refreshing the advert. I would say there's no harm at all in going to Facebook Live at the house.
Yeah.
And relaunching that onto all the local groups.
Yeah, we've done the same thing.
Yeah, just get back out to the house.
And again, it looks really good. The main point of that is it looks good to your client.
It looks good to the client. You're trying. Get it out there. You never know, just doing that approach.
I mean, we had a viewing this week of Instagram for a £1.65 million house that hasn't come off Rightmove. It's come off our Instagram.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah,
we've talked about pre-launch to death, but I was just telling you lads this morning, I did a pre-launch on a house last night, just when I was in the hotel room, and we've had 3 leads this morning, and the Facebook Live has had 8,500 views in like 3 or 4 days. So it works. So it works. It works. For context, guys, the lads always take the mickey out of how I say work, because I say walk. It walks. Anyway,
We've got 45 minutes, Dave. Come on.
I'm from Bolton.
Spin it along.
Yeah, sorry, lads. Sorry. So yeah, I think getting out to the house again, doing a Facebook Live, will really work. It really helps. And it's just about the owner knowing that you're doing all you can.
Yeah.
And then keeping in touch with them. Don't be afraid of the conversations. You've got to have straight conversation with people to say, look, it's such a niche property, this. It's got a 1 in 10 chance, because everybody who comes to the market that's looking for a similar sized property will probably want a garden. Or if it's another problem, they'll want something else, So it's just about managing the expectations and saying you're going to have to be patient. But there may come a time where we have to have a conversation about price. So
goes back to being the authority as well.
Yes.
Right? You've got to be authoritative. You've got to be the expert. And you've got to position yourself. As soon as the client starts to take control, that's when you're in danger of losing the listing. When they start saying, "Well, I don't want anyone that's coming round that's not on the market.
No,
I don't want anyone this." Or
you're not taking on board.
I hope they know about the A road before they come round, and make sure you tell them about the other shit stuff that no one wants to buy it for.
Yeah, it's so true.
No,
Of course, don't tell them no.
Yeah, do they know about the motorway? Do they know?
Again, do they know we had subsidence 55 years ago?
Yeah.
We've got clients at the moment with regards to having agreement in principles and doing funds checks.
Can I just say, before smart ass listen to the podcast, and we do tell people about subsidence. I'm just going to get that in.
All right, yeah.
Someone listens to me go, actually, you don't have to tell people that there's subsidence in the house. Yeah, don't worry.
Just in case the TPO are listening.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Actually.
So we've got there's a couple of scenarios that I can think of actually where at the moment clients are wanting too much, putting up the way I put it up, putting up barriers to entry.
Yeah,
I'm like saying, like you say, we don't want to tell them everything that's negative about the house. Or we've got one client at the moment where the house is, they have already bought something else. They need to get a sale, and they were asking us the other day to fully financially qualify everybody before they view. And it's like, well, not everybody does have an AIP on the basis that they don't want to put marks on a credit file and stuff like that, but they are mortgageable. We don't want to put up barriers to entry. No. It's like, no, I want everybody qualified first. I want to see the AIP. I want to see the... Oh, come on. So you've got to work with these people sometimes, but I think you've got to be the authority, and that's what I was saying to these people. We don't want to put up barriers to entry because they might be the perfect buyer in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah.
Same when people have got houses to sell. If you've got 10 people lined up to view it, fine. But if you've only got
get
one
them in anyway, though.
Just get them in.
If they're not on the market,
I'll still get them in even if we've got proceedable, loads of proceedables, because it creates more competition on the day. And we've all had properties where we've done 15 viewings in the first weekend and no one's bought it. So you might have the one person who really wants it might be not proceedable, and if they can see loads of other interest,
you can get a house on the market as well.
Get that house on the market.
30% of the stuff we sold last year was spun from local house to sell business.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think it's more from the vendor's point of view, isn't it? We know the opportunities that'll come from house to sell because we want to get the value.
To me, the way to explain it to the vendor about bringing in non-proceedables is that the market is by no means predictable, and it's good, but it's not everything's selling very quickly.
Yeah.
And you need to give yourself as many opportunities as possible. And your right buyer might be someone that's got a house to sell.
Yeah.
And if they price the house competitively to sell it to buy yours, within 2 weeks you could have a buyer.
Yeah.
And you don't know that one of the proceedables that's viewing isn't going to pull out. You need backups.
Yeah, 100%.
Give yourself options. Spread your bets.
Yeah. There's no harm. And we're there anyway, John. So we might as well just bring them along while we're there.
Yeah. Be the authority, though.
Be the authority. Tell them.
Don't let them tell you what to do.
No.
You tell them how you. End of the day, they've employed you as the expert to sell their house.
Yeah.
So they need to let you do your job.
We're going to put that in our new client handbook that we're doing at the minute that we're giving to people when they sign up about non-proceedables.
Yeah.
So it's a thing. And sellers, they don't understand, and they shouldn't understand because they don't do it every day, do they? So you need to explain it.
I think the thing is, though, from their side of things, though, is they're thinking, well, I don't want carpet crunchers.
Yeah, wasting my time. Yeah.
Neither do we.
No.
But they're serious people that haven't got their house on the market, and they've taken steps and they've agreed to a valuation.
Yeah.
They are serious.
Yeah.
So get them in.
Yeah.
Totally agree. Finally, I guess, a couple of things. But on the flip side, when you've got properties that are getting loads of viewings and they're not getting offers, I can think of two. We've got one at the moment, and I'm having a conversation with a client today, actually, about what to do next. But we had one last year. It must have had 60 viewings, and it was a really difficult sell. It actually sold 2 or 3 times, but I think fell through for varying different reasons, and eventually we got it away. But that's another challenging conversation, isn't it? Because that's probably more challenging than when you've not got interest. Because if you think about it, if you're getting lots and lots of viewings, the job is that the issue is not the marketing, it's not the price, because people are coming viewing the house based on the price.
But you say that though.
It might be the price.
It might be the price.
No. What I'm saying is, hear me out. So on the price side of it, no. Let me add context, JK. Right. So
get to work
on the price. What I'm saying is, if a property is overpriced, the likelihood is it's just not going to get interest.
Yeah.
If it's had lots and lots of interest at the price point that it's on at, there is an initial willingness to come and view it. So they're not looking at it and going, that is way overpriced. They're going to the property because they think it's fairly priced. Once they get there, it's then what they find, isn't it? Now, ultimately, if they're saying the bedrooms are too small, it's immaculate, but the bedrooms are smaller than it looks and stuff like that, then maybe there's an argument that the price isn't right anyway. But more often than not, it's because there's issues with the house. So like we've got one at the moment where the feedback is that, to be honest, the heating system looks old. Some of the windows are blown, and it doesn't feel like it looks when you go inside with it, in the politest possible way. It feels a bit worn, dated, grotty, filthy. Not filthy. But that's the feedback. So the conversation is not going to be easy. You guys said people are coming in. They obviously like it because they're coming to see it. The area's fine for them. Nobody's really giving feedback about the area being bad. What they're doing is giving feedback that the house isn't great once they get there.
It's where you need price feedback, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's where you have to get price feedback from these people.
Yeah. So we now need to be having that. The conversation we're having today is, look, I probably need to come and see you because some of the issues that are coming up are surrounding issues with the house itself. So what can we do to make it more saleable? And sometimes those conversations will go really well and they'll take the feedback and maybe do something. But ultimately, there'll always be a price. So is it a case of, I can't be bothered spending $10,000 doing my heating system and doing my windows and doing this, that and the other. Do we need to alter the price? Then it comes back to who is going to buy this property. I've got another one at the moment that's been on the market for a few months at 900,000. It's had a good level of interest, mainly from the Asian community. And what they're looking for are separate rooms, which this gives you, but it's not quite enough. And they want most of them are saying it could do with an extra bedroom, and we need more parking on the front. So the owner, who's quite a wealthy bloke, he's already bought his next property. They've moved out this week. He's saying, I don't really want to take much less for the property, if I'm honest with you, but I'm prepared to actually do some work. So what can we do? So he's talking about now knocking out the garage, making that into a reception space, putting an extension upstairs, getting rid of all the front and making more parking spaces.
What's the point in that, though?
I know. So, but the point is, though, he's thinking, he's like going, right, what can I do to make it more saleable? The reality is that conversation will result most likely in, well, it's going to cost you 150 grand to do that.
Yeah.
And that's probably all you'll get back. So let's not bother doing that. Yeah. But the point is, he is like, well, I'm on board. What do we need to do to get this sold? And he's willing to go to the absolute extremes to do it, potentially. It's not the right thing.
No.
With this other house that I'm talking about, it's sort of lower end of the market. It may be worth investing in sort of a handyman to come in and just finish some of these, these bits off. There's a couple of windows blown. Can we get the glass done?
That's £80 a pay in there. It's not a lot.
Yeah. So there's things that can be done. What are your experiences with that? Have you having honest conversations? I know you had the uncomfortable one the other week, didn't you, with the house smelling of dog? Is that right?
I did. I can't think which house that was now.
You did, yeah. You said it smelled of dog. Did you have to have the conversation with her in the end?
Yeah, I can't remember the exact conversation, but I would always have a frank conversation like that if it needs to happen. I'm always saying to the team about price feedback, because this is and I know I just mentioned it to you there, but it's absolutely vital on these ones, and especially these ones where you're getting loads and loads of viewings and no offers. Price feedback's so key, because if everyone's saying it's worth 50 grand, that's what it is. We had it on one. We've got one recently, a cottage, put it on at 800. Seemed in line with the data, didn't sell. Everyone said it was worth less. He had an offer of 750 about 3 months ago that he turned down. Anyway, it didn't sell. But it had some land. We took the land off, reduced the price. Right, we put it back on as a new date. Went back on, offered for 750, sold it at 750. But it was the price feedback that had been dripping into him that had really helped with that.
Yeah,
Street's really good at that as well.
Yeah, it is now.
Street automated feedback, because when they fill in the feedback form on Street, it asks them, "What do you think of the price?"
Yeah.
is it good, average, or poor?
Yeah.
And then then the AI summarises that afterwards. So when you do a marketing report for them, I don't generate and send it on email, but I generate it on the screen, look at the stats, and go, well, look, screenshot. This is what your feedback is, and this is what people are saying. And the general feedback is that the price is either average or perceived as poor by the market.
Yeah.
And that's where I think you need to frame that correctly with sellers. So that's something else that will go in our client handbook, is about feedback, because you need to tell people that they're going to get feedback that they don't want to hear, and I want to tell them that before it happens.
Yeah. But it all goes down.
It's
no longer your house; it's your buyer's next house.
That is a great saying. Who came up with that?
But it's also about more giving sellers frank feedback. But I think at the start of the process, we really need to be saying to them, "You're going to get feedback you don't like."
Yeah, you've got to
set the expectations.
Set the expectations. Absolutely, don't take it personally. No. At the end of the day, you are no longer selling your house on your buyer's next home.
And it's not us giving you feedback. We're just it's the seller, it's the buyer, it's the buyers. Yeah.
I was reminiscing about the Jimmy Carr podcast. I think about his quote. Sorry, not Jimmy Carr. It was Gordon Ramsay's on the High Performance podcast.
Oh, yeah.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
And he comes up with 3 non-negotiables for being in his business, but one of them is take it professionally, not personally.
Yeah.
It's always stuck with that. I think it's a really great way of saying that to somebody that you don't want to upset, that you don't want them to take it personally. And it's the same with a homeowner. Don't take it personally. It's not that they hate all your stuff. It's just they prefer another way. Or it has to be another way for them. So it's really important that they do take that on board and do what they can to help you sell it. We're doing all this great marketing. It's in all the right places. It's all across social media, etc. We're doing all we can, and sometimes we need your help to help us get the result. So I think it's just the way you get across. Right. Anyway, final thing. So we've got the budget next week. You touched on a couple of bits of your point, but the budget next week, we don't know what's going to cover that yet, but it's sounding like it's not going to be great. I don't think it'll end up being as bad as everybody thinks.
No, it never normally is.
No, they drip feed these things out into the open. See how everybody reacts.
Don't fund me for TCA.
But no, they generally drip feed stuff into the media, don't they? See how they react, and then they'll change things. So we'll see. But as we've touched on, the rumours are that we'll get another couple of rate drops. To me, I've been saying it for months, look after your stock, because I think once we get these rate drops and stuff like that, you can already feel it.
You can feel it.
The certain houses now getting more traction that perhaps have been a bit stale. I think we're going to see some really good traction, if not towards the end of the year. If you
mid to upper end as well.
Yeah, I mean, like we've just sent our Q3 letters out, haven't we? And I think we'll get good responses from it. But it's the Q4 one that we send out that's a review of the year and gets people set up for January. I think that's the one where if you've been looking after your stock and you've been keeping in touch with people and being consistent with your letter content, I think that's the one.
And the budget by then will have been and gone, won't it?
We can summarise it. The dust will have settled.
Dust will have settled, we'll have. People won't be thinking about that as much.
No, they won't, no.
And I think we'll have had at least one interest rate drop. The rumour is potentially 2.
Yeah.
And let's face it, they want to get the market moving. We're at a 10-year high with stock levels. There's a lot of overpriced stock, and the government want to get houses moving again.
I think the Goldman Sachs thing, I think they're a big name in the financial world.
Yeah.
I think there will be a lot of people behind the scenes that deal with the rates and financials that we're going. That's the thing is we can't see what goes on behind closed doors. But I imagine there'll be a lot of let's push that out and see how the market reacts to it, and then swap rates eventually will come down. Because the thing is, the base rate is one thing, but the swap rate's a completely different entity. And just because the base rate is 5% doesn't mean you can't get a 3.5% mortgage. Because they'll be betting on what's happening with the base rate. And if there's another cut, I think that the psychology will be in the city when they set the rates at the banks, is that they will start cutting. Because you noticed that recently banks started to put their rates back up. They dropped. For example, I think I said to you about 6 weeks ago, one of the deals we tied up, at the upper end, Halifax on their large home loans had cut on their rates by 0.3. But in the meantime, Halifax, NatWest, and a couple of others have started to creep back up. Because I think what they did was, obviously, the market was a bit flat August time. That base rate cut came. They were all a bit light on business. And you saw it on the mortgage approvals. The levels were down. They've obviously got all the influx of business now because the market has picked up. And they've ramped their prices back up to kind of, deal with the amount of interest. But equally now, I think, they're going to probably go after that higher end of the market. I could just see certainly large home loans really being affected with the interest rate cuts.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Like I say, I think that the key is you've got to be talking to your client base, people at your stock, about what you think will happen.
Yeah.
It's good to have an opinion. And I think you need to be talking to any potential clients that you've been to over the last... I mean, if you've been to lots of Vals this year, you just need to be in touch with everybody.
I also think in terms of retaining existing stock, it's a good time of year to retain stock because people don't want to be doing changing agents now. I don't think doing new photographs.
No.
And Christmas decorations are going up in like 4 weeks' time. And I think as long as you're in touch with them every week, I think you should retain. You should be able to retain your stock.
You should be able to retain your stock.
If your marketing is good enough.
But definitely start thinking about early next year as well. I mean, we're doing the planning day, like we say, in December, and it's going to be key.
Sounds like a good time to just touch on that quickly. I think we've got 2 spaces left, so we've just signed up another couple of members. Is that right, or are those spaces gone now?
I don't know.
I thought we had a couple of spaces.
You mean in the room?
Yeah.
Well, we'll get a bigger room if we get more members.
We'll have to get a bigger room.
Yeah. So, well, as it stands, from speaking to Aidan yesterday, I think we've got 2 spaces. If you are interested in joining us, let us know in the next couple of weeks. We're recording this on Friday, the 25th of October. So you've literally got 2 weeks to secure your place. And what we're going to do is give people the tools, the tactics, the plan to absolutely rinse 2025. We're going to go through your numbers, delve deep, and look at your business from a helicopter view and show you what you need to do in order to smash 2025 predictably.
We are, we're sat here and in front of us is this board, isn't it, where we've written down what we're going to do at the mastermind and how we're going to help people grow in 2025.
Yeah, and we've even done it ourselves. Looking at, we've gone through the Val's books, measurables. One great thing I love about working with you guys, again, professionally, is that when we do these things, is that, things like Val's cancelled, Val's books, what's the reason, and the thing is, we measure that because I've got it all in front of me, but it's maybe delving deeper, like Dave, you said yesterday, delving into the cancellations, and finding out why they're cancelling. And, if you're losing 6% of your vowels to cancellations, are you not going out quick enough? Is that staffing issue?
Yeah.
Just going and helping people in general with the problem, because we're pressing the stages. That's our superpower. We are all doing this on a day-to-day basis. So if you've had the problem, we've likely had it, possibly solved it, and we can save you years of heartache. And I think one of the things we're going to cover is trimming the fat.
Yeah.
Like next year, subscriptions.
Is it working? Is what you're doing working?
Yeah.
Are you selling the house?
Is it working, as Dave would say?
If not, let's speak.
Yeah. Cool. Well, look, thanks for listening, guys. Been a pleasure. Thanks for having us at Stories HQ.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been great. Thanks for listening, guys. If you want to get in touch with myself, JK or Ian, please do reach out. It would be lovely to talk. It would be lovely to talk to you. It would be great to talk to you.
It'd be great to walk with you.
Yeah, it would be great to walk with you. No, seriously, it would be great to get some more members on. We've got a great team so far, and we want to add some more. So please do get in touch. But for now, thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Bye.